Good evening everyone. So today I will be presenting the Scrum Anti-Patterns. So brief introduction of me. So I am the team lead and also I play the Scrum Master role, and I have almost 1 year of experience in the IT industry. Okay. And so this is the agenda for today's session. So I will be speaking about the anti-patterns in Scrum ceremonies, and later will conclude with some of the best practices in Scrum that we can all follow. So intro. So as stated in the Scrum guide, the Scrum is a framework where people can address complex problems productively and creatively by delivering products of the highest value. So as you can see, this is a brief overview of the Scrum process, and today I will not be speaking about Scrum, as we all are aware of the Scrum process. My focus is on a topic that we do not talk of much. So here are some of the few Scrum anti-patterns seen in various situations in the Scrum team. So to start with, the anti-patterns in sprint planning. So number 1 is unrefined product backlog. The product owner is solely responsible for maintaining the product backlog. One of the major mistakes that they could make is not updating the product backlog before a sprint planning meeting. So an unrefined product backlog would make it difficult for the team to figure out what are the upcoming tasks that they have to focus on. This may consume a lot of time which could have been spent on working on the sprint backlog. 2. Absent key stakeholders. So sprint planning could be done effectively when relevant stakeholders are present and could share their views on the product increment. When they are not present, issues such as product owner not able to clarify questions and the unavailability of the team members after the planning session, and developers cannot set time aside to fix bugs are some of the issues that would arise. So this would make the team to overcommit to tasks but also underperform, which leaves a certain task to the next sprint and the workflow of the team gets disrupted. So third, having a weak definition of done. So definition of done helps the team to estimate the efforts that have to be put in to complete a task. When the definition of done is weak, there may be confusion as to what exactly they have to work on during the sprint. So this leads to either delivering more of what is required or not delivering the task at all. Okay. So next topic would be anti-patterns in daily Scrum. Number 1 would be noise from outside. So the daily Scrum is open to all the stakeholders, where the team members discuss their progress in the sprint. However, issues like teammates talking with each other and interrupting and not concentrating while other people are presenting, members coming late to daily Scrum and creating distractions for others, and also the environment where the daily Scrum takes place can be noisy or uncooperative are some of the issues. Second is discussing work in details. So the most common cause of extension of a daily Scrum is by team members over explaining the progress and discussing the work heavily. So these discussions should be reserved for other Scrum events, as it does not align with the purpose of the meeting. Third would be the current problems or the blockers you all face. So team members cannot resolve the problems faced and cannot go about their work if they have any blockers. So Also, in such cases, other team members do not offer any help due to the lack of time or trust or competence. So this causes a break in the process and may cause a delay in product development and delivery. Fourth would be skipping daily scrum. So few teams may consider the daily scrums are unnecessary and the process could be caught up at once. But this takes away the opportunity of catching up with the team and planning their day based on the other team members' progress. Fifth one would be not preparing for the meeting. So when team members come to this daily stand-up or daily scrum without being prepared, okay, if they do not remember what they worked on yesterday and what they will be working on today, there will be an extension for the 15 minutes stand-up time limit, and few important details may be missed out too. So this could be avoided by taking down notes beforehand before you all come to the daily scrum meeting. Next would be the anti-patterns in sprint review. First would be lack of attendance. So team members may feel that the review session is not as important and their attendance is not required. This would lead to issues such as lesser insights presented to the stakeholders and similar phases presenting the product increment due to fewer people. Second would be unfinished business, as in there could be a false sense of achievement where the developers do not complete the items as stated by the definition of done. This leads to unfinished business and a bad reputation in front of the stakeholders. Third would be unpreparedness or lack of preparation. So team members rushing up the presentation, which could make the stakeholders not understand the purpose of a particular feature, could be one of the results of lack of preparation. So this could also hamper the meeting's effectiveness and could end up stakeholders not showing up the next time. Next, anti-patterns in sprint retrospectives. So first one would be making personal attacks. Retros are planned to look at tasks that were not completed. During these sessions, team members can attack each other, which causes discomfort. The team members should have the courage to address the underlying issues, but should also treat each other with respect. Second would be skipping or rushing retro. So the team may skip or rush through the retro sessions as it may feel that it is not important as the other sessions. This shows that the team does not understand the importance of the meeting and cannot reap the benefits of conducting a retro. Third would be no actions taken. Even after addressing the issues and coming up with action plans, no one would follow up due to the lack of accountability among team members. Team members should or must follow the action items without ignoring them. Fourth would be snitching, which is the retrospective meetings are conducted inside the Scrum team. But sometimes team members may share few discussed points with external stakeholders, which creates a breach of trust and fear of ramification. So hence people cannot speak openly about the issues they face during the sprint, and also they will not address the issues they have during the next sessions. To sum up, I would like to focus on some of the best practices in Scrum. So this would all apply to the product owner, the Scrum Master and the development team as well. So Teams and meetings. First would be create product backlog in conjunction with stakeholders. So during the negotiations on the backlog and while reprioritizing the task, the team and stakeholders can come to a better understanding of the vision and what is expected to be achieved. Second would be stakeholders must participate in Scrum meetings. So when stakeholders and product owners participate in Scrum meetings, they will understand the workflow and the ways in which the team works. So in turn, they can offer valuable feedbacks on the progress of work and about deliverables during each sprint. Third would be work on team building. So team building is a practice that should never be neglected or sacrificed for want of time. A group that is cohesive will work better and faster. Fourth, don't sit down during stand-ups. So the reason why the daily meeting is called a stand-up is because people are expected to stand up and not sit down. So typically meetings where everyone is standing up are shorter and get the expected results, while sit-down meetings tend to drag on and on. So next one would be planning and estimates. So first one is setting goals clearly. Unless the goals for each sprint are clearly laid out, it could become very difficult to prioritize the tasks in the backlog. Second would be estimate using planning poker. Planning poker, it is proven to be easy technique for estimating and planning. So using this simple technique, accurate and doable estimates can be achieved. Next one is set time aside for risk mitigation. So by planning a 6-hour day and leaving 2 hours each day for risk mitigation, it is possible not to fall short on time estimates. Many unexpected things could happen, and by doing this, it is possible to be prepared for unseen circumstances. Next is do not stretch or cut short sprint timings. So otherwise, the team will be tempted to neglect set timelines in the expectation that they will be reset. At the end of the agreed time frame, the sprint should end. Uncompleted tasks should be moved to the top of the backlog and then taken to the next sprint. So if stories are completed ahead of time, so we can take from the backlog and work on it until the end of that particular sprint. Next is mapping functional and technical dependencies. So by mapping these, the workflow is smoothened and optimized, and bottlenecks can be identified and removed. Last is using a Scrum board. So always make sure to update the Scrum board for a visual representation of the sprint's progress. Next, tracking and predicting. So using sprint burn down charts, release burn down charts and velocity charts are very useful actually. By visually depicting the progress of the sprint, with these charts the team can decide on the changes that need to be done in their work progress and how they can deliver the product increment much more better than the previous sprints. So in conclusion, Scrum Anti-Patterns are behaviours that the team members exhibit that would drain the resources from the Scrum team. Keeping an eye out for such behaviours can enhance the productivity and performance of the team. So each team is difficult and you might need to experiment with a few approaches and Scrum best practices till you find the one that's right for you. So thank you everyone. I hope you gathered a lot of information from this. Yeah, thank you.